Hi, I'm Wayne Caddy. I teach at the School of Artisan Food. I've been baking for 27 years. I represented Team GB in the Coupe du Monde and the Masters de la Boulangerie too. I'm going to share with you some top baking techniques and recipes to take your baking to the next level. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pizza from Naples, or Napoli pizza, in particular a Margherita pizza. So to start off with the mixing process, we're going to use a Nautilus Method, which simply means adding water and a sourdough to our flour. So our water goes into the flour, and then we take our little bit of sourdough and place it into the flour and water, and putting our hand into the centre with our fingers closed, gently stir till we start combining all the flour and sourdough with the water till it's mixed through to a relatively smooth paste. What we don't want to see is any visible lumps of dry flour. So this should only take about 2 minutes, just stirring round with your hand to get the flour through into the water and the sourdough combined. So that's the Nautilus finished mixing. It really is a short mix. So now we're going to leave it for 20 minutes, cover it and allow it to rest. After about 20 minutes of resting our pizza dough, we should see a noted difference in how it looks and feels. It will become more extensible and smoother. This is because we're allowing the starch and the gluten to relax and hydrate. So the next thing we need to do is add our salt and yeast into here and continue mixing using around-the-clock technique. So we're going to add our salt and then our yeast, but keep those separate. We don't want those combining together. Salt will attack the yeast and kill some of the yeast cells. As soon as we start mixing, it's not a problem. So we're going to go around the clock. So start at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, stretching and placing into the middle and working round into a ball. And as soon as we add the salt, we start to feel the dough tighten up. We can see already the dough's tighter. This is because the salt strengthens gluten. So we keep going around the clock until it gets very tight. Once it tightens and starts pulling away from the bottom of the ball, then we can stop and rest for a couple of minutes before repeating around the clock at least several times. What we're looking for is a soft, silky but strong dough after we've repeated around the clock. After mixing around the clock for several times, you can see that we've developed strength and extensibility in the dough. More importantly, it's very strong. Now we cover again and leave for 2 hours to bulk ferment. After an hour into the bulk fermentation of the pizza dough, we're going to apply a fold. So we take the dough at the 12 o'clock position and place it into the middle, then at the 6 o'clock, then at the 3 o'clock, then at the 9 o'clock position, and just give it a little round off, and you can hear the carbon dioxide popping out, and that's exactly what we want. We want to expel the carbon dioxide, knock the dough back and make it stronger. The last stage is just put a tea towel over the top and allow to bulk ferment for a further 1 hour at room temperature. Okay, after 2 hours of bulk fermentation, our pizza dough is now ready to scale and round. So we're going to uncover, get a little bit of flour, just give it a slight dusting off, and then we're going to tip the dough out onto the table, and using a scraper, we're going to divide the pieces into 170 grams. Depending on the size of the pizza you're going to make, it depends on the size you're going to scale at. We're making around about 8-inch pizzas here, so about 170 is a good size. What we're going to do next is shape it. So we're going to take the 3 o'clock over to 9 o'clock over, 12 o'clock over, 6 o'clock over, and then fold in the corners. Okay, a little bit of flour over it, and then we're going to shape it into a round. Okay, so the technique I'm using is a gated technique, so my hands are overlapping. and they're right on the metal bench and dragging it towards me. Turn 90 degrees and just repeat that 4 times. And from a very wet dough, we've developed a really firm dough with bubbles under the surface. The bubbles are going to give us a nice open porous texture when we bake the pizza later on. Now we can leave the dough ball at room temperature for a couple of hours and bake it today. Alternatively, we can place a dough ball in a covered tray into a refrigerator and leave for at least 2 to 3 days before baking. Okay, so we've got a pizza dough ball that's been proving for several hours now, and what we're looking for is a really pillowy dough ball. That means that we've got wonderful carbon dioxide production and the gluten structures allowing it to move. So next we need to shape the pizza. We do not use a rolling pin. All we use is our hands to stretch out the dough so that we maintain really open porous texture. I'm going to use semolina to sprinkle over the top and pick it up and spread it on the base of the pizza dough ball. Now I'm using semolina because it will give a real golden crust but also a great texture, crunchy texture when we bake the pizza. So, first stage is just to stretch the pizza out and pick the pizza up, and on my fists, so my fists now are facing down. The next stage is to rock my fists forward onto my flat thumbs. So it's on my flat thumbs now, stretching the edge of the pizza. Okay. The last stage is to put my thumbs up. Still on the edge of the pizza, so I'm stretching the pizza out, and it should be very thin in the middle and still have a little bit of an edge, dough edge on the rim of the pizza. So now we can see we've still got lots of bubbles in that. Okay, that's really important. The next step is to place it onto the baker's peel. When we've done this, we're going to add sauce, but the important thing is to make sure that you've got a little bit of flour underneath, otherwise the dough will stick to the peel. The next step is to take the sauce, which is tomatoes, olive oil, sea salt, and it's been cooked down. Place the sauce into the middle and spread using the back of the spoon. Don't press too hard onto the pizza, otherwise you will stick the pizza base to the baker's peel. Okay, the next thing is mozzarella. So we're going to aim to put about 5 pieces of shredded mozzarella onto the pizza base. So the next stage is to get the pizza into the oven. Traditionally, pizzas are made in wood-fired ovens that bake really hot temperatures, about 450 degrees C. What we're doing today though is we're turning our oven up to full at 260, and we're using the fan and the grill to heat a metal tray. Now the metal tray is turned upside down so that we can bake the pizza into the oven very easily. Right, let's get the pizza in the oven. So we're going to bake the pizza for about 3 to 4 minutes, or until we see flinting or charring on the top with a light background to it. Okay, there we have it, a Margherita pizza. Great to see the charred flinting effect around the edge. And another thing to test when it's baked is that the mozzarella should just bubble and go slightly golden. A couple of other things we're going to do just before we get round to eating it is shred a little bit of basil, just tear it, not too much, and then the final touch is apply a little bit of extra virgin olive oil just around the rim and drizzle across the centre. And there we have it, a fantastic Naples style Margherita pizza.